What happened to me is exactly one of the most various scamming proceeds that can happen today in the internet. I didn't realize how dangerous it was till the day I was finally out. All started in a Saturday afternoon when I was chilling with a friend, and she suggested me to download this new love application, Lovo. So I download Lovo, and in a space of 10 minutes I enter in this danger. On Lovo I met Samuel Bourg, a cement dealer, was supposed to be a businessman from Paris, living in Lens, 47 years old man. After meeting on Lovo, we skipped to Facebook, and after 1 week we skipped to WhatsApp. And in WhatsApp we start chat, every time chatting, the morning, the day, the evening, and we start to build up a sort of relationship. With the time I discovered he was married once and he's got a child, a daughter, and the wife betrayed him and the daughter died in a very bad accident. He entered in depression, and after that he concentrated on his job very hard, and he reached, so as he said, a very high level of success. In my business life, I'm used to meet businessmen and talk to businessmen. They're every time busy. And so for me, it was quite normal to believe in this story. So actually, I'm a businesswoman as well. I have no time for anything, especially for a relationship. And was perfect because he just wrote the right words in the morning and the right words in the evening, and he chatted with me in the evening, and he called me almost every day. So he was a perfect man. Even if he was not real, real in person, he was very, very attentive and present.
Day in, day out there is someone caring about you, even if digital only. Over time, you go into an emotional dependency with growing intimacy and trust, even if you never met in person. You shared many private details. For instance, if someone comes from broken relationships and suddenly there is someone, you think, finally there is love in the air. And if the desire is available and persistent, this can, of course, blur their own perception. The delinquents are very capable, have certain skills and act clever. They know how to make one feel appreciated, how to build a relationship. They know how to make you feel to be in good hands.
I started to fall in love with him. I felt really happy, singing, dancing, and very chilling. I felt at that time very secured because not only was every time sending me messages, but also because he was very present. And he always repeated to me, "Don't worry, darling, even if I'm not there, it's like I'm there. I'm there for you. For every wish you want, I'm there for you, I'm your man, and you can trust me." He said he's got enough money to raise a family, and also he's got enough money to take care of me and so on. And I say, hey, you know what, I cannot not do anything. I'm a worker, I'm a businesswoman, and I won't go on with my business. And at this point he understood for me the work was very important, and this is why he wanted also to support in my business by investing with the proper money. He was really keen in details. He asked me in details which kind of dream lives I would ever have. So I will start to dream actually to integrate his personality and his person in my life.
As soon as an emotional dependency has been established and love is in the air, we know that someone's behavior can become insane. Love is something insane, and we know that love is blind.
After 2-3 weeks, I wanted to meet him, so I booked and reserved a flight to Paris, and I never used it because when I was trying to fly, he said to me, "No, Francesca, it's impossible to see each other. I need to fly to Greece because I have an important client there and I'm going to make a good deal." I also received some phone call from Athens. He was supposed to live in Hilton Hotel, Athens, and I received some phone call from Athens Hilton Hotel with the right number. He say, I'm coming, and he showed me a ticket flight booked from Athens to Zurich. So I really believe in it. Moving to the new apartment, I'd even left some free space for him in case he was coming. He was not only a normal boyfriend, he also promised me to open a business in Switzerland. and he wants to transfer some money in my bank account. I would have declared this money to Swiss state. So I say, okay, no worry, I go to the bank. I went to the CIBER bank in Milan and I opened a special account for this money coming. And they sent to me the document of the bank account, and the sold of the bank account was about 6 million. I was not so naive to believe only in a paper. He did a very intelligent way to put me in contact with Pascal Guerretiers. He's a personal businessman in charge of his bank account, and I used to receive almost 3 phone calls from London directly with a London number that I still have on my phone, and I was believing in it because it was simply perfect organized, the right paper, the right phone calls, the right number, and so I didn't suspect.
People fall into these scams because the scams are very clever, calculated and directed towards the victim. It happened to me that my profile has been hacked. My hacked thing was so smart because I received an email from California Instagram. 1 year of my work was cancelled, all the photos. Turkish hacker that hacked my profile, he was actually asking me the money. I was not having any help from Instagram. I sent more than 500 emails. It was going on like this for 2 months. 2 months I was not sleeping. It was a terrible period. It's difficult to screw me, but they did.
Pascal supposed to send me 500,000 2 times, and I have the paper of it. So I showed the paper to the bankers, and also the bankers believe in that. So it was really perfectly organized. As soon as build up the trust, after almost 1 month, and we are not talking of days, we are talking of months, he started to ask some money. It was not a big deal, it was only 1,000 euro because he needs to give to somebody at the boundary. I didn't feel pity because I feel very useful to help him in this mission. So to come to the point, I start to send some money, and then I enter in a very, very diabolic triangle. It was Pascal on a side, asking me money, and Samuel on the other send me nice pictures, send me love messages, send me nice world. And so I believe in Samuel, and I was very, very gentle with him, and he was very gentle to me. And on the other side, Pascal was pressing me with the money. They were so organized that when I refused to send the money, the Pascal was pressing me so much, and Samuel was behaving very sad. And the words they used, that was very intelligent, because these words enter in my mind like, oh, you are my wife, you cannot help me, it's a pity because you're my wife, you're my angel, you're my future, don't worry for the money, I will give you double money, and we will buy a new car, and we will buy a new house, and we will build up our future. He did behave in a very smooth way because he delivered all the responsibility of money to Pascal Guerretiers. So he was not hanging with the money, because actually he said to me, he shamed the man of my life, cannot ask him money. My brain was completely disassociated. I believe in a future life, which I projecting on it, and I didn't care about my present, because also my present was fully of charge of responsibility of Tramontana events and my work and my pressure. So I was so pressed that I was so looking to the future. And actually I didn't balance good, because I didn't measure good what was the real reality and what was my fantasy, my projection. In the last period, he every time disappeared for the whole day. I waited the whole day to enter in touch with him in the night.
So when you fall into these scams, after there is a problem of abstinence. First, you are used to receiving daily attention, messages, phone calls, then suddenly the emptiness. It is like what happens with the ludopathy syndrome.
I didn't want to go out anymore, I didn't want to see anybody anymore, I just want to chat with him, and he was the only reason of my life at that time. I quarreled almost with everybody.
We all tried to convince her to be on Earth, to go to see him really directly. She was really a smart girl. I don't understand how she can believe in this fake story.
I felt Nobody would understand my behavior, and this is the reason why I close up in myself. In the evening, I smoke a lot of cigarette and I eat very unhealthy food. Every time at 4 o'clock in the night, I wake up and I couldn't sleep anymore. I feel insecure. I feel something was going on. My heart was beating in different ways. I every time miss my breath. I decided to stop this chain by taking some money and book a flight to Athens, to Greece, to see with my proper eyes this Samuel Bourg face. Where I landed, the first thing I did was go directly to the Hilton Hotel and check at the reception if it was already there. And what I discovered, there was never have been a Samuel Bourg at the reception of the Hilton Hotel. And then, of course, I had this B plan. I reserved another room in nearby the seaside. I took a taxi. I entered in the taxi. I went in the hotel. I entered in the room, and I got a shock. In the room, there was a big mirror and a big image of a woman that was digging into the water. And I felt like I really mirroring myself. So actually, the destiny provided me this image. And what I did was, the first reaction, I started to cry. And I didn't only cry for me and my story. I cried because I realized this is not one person, this is an organization of many people involved in it. And they are making a very bad business, not only for the money, especially because they use other people's feeling, they use other people's soul to get to the very bad target.
For the persons who have been exposed to a romance or thinking having a romance, it is a real trust issue. They are hoping on something, they are building a life around something with a person abroad. And the only thing what is happening is that they not only lose the money, but they lose hope, they lose trust, and their life is in shambles. And I have even seen cases where people are getting suicidal.
I never had patients where suicide was an option, but potentially such an experience could lead to a suicide. Especially when shame is strong, suicide could become an option.
You don't have to feel ashamed. If something happened, it's normal. We are human beings and it's normal to commit mistake. The most important thing is that you realize it and you don't do it again. So I closed my phone, I left my phone in the room, I went out the room, I walk down and I see the seaside and I start to breathe again. And after that I say, you know what, I take the time for me. I cut a little bit with Samuel for the moment. Samuel realized that I was skipping away, and to grab me again, what it did was send me the image of a fake passport with the name, everything was perfect name, perfect everything, but the picture, you can see from the picture, is really cut it off. And then the first reaction I've got was a big disappointment, completely big disappointment, sense of loss, sense of betrayal.
Some victims who have had problems before or are not stable have a general loss of self-esteem. Being betrayed of one's affections is a terrible and infamous action. Victims fall into a depression, in a tunnel where they do not see the light. From a psychological point of view, well, it's a heavy emotional distress. Self-doubts appear and depression-like symptoms may follow this experience. A lot of shame. This can drive one into a crisis as one has self-doubts.
It's a new form of robbery. In the past, robbers used to go enter into a jewelry, enter to your home. Now, this scammer enter into your brain. So I will call it like a mind terrorism.
It's a new form of criminality. It's a contemporary problem of these days and age. We have always had this kind of criminal activities, such as marriage, swindler, people that in a very clever way won your trust. And nowadays, these activities have moved into digital world.
I have been exposed to people getting into problems because of romance fraud or dating scamming. To give you some perspective, in the UK alone, in the year 2014-15, it was a business with £27 million of lost money by fraudsters.
You know what? It's not only me that is in danger. It's also the identity of another man. So I need to find out who is this man. I took a plane to Zurich back and I invest all the trip back by scrolling all the image, analyzing all the picture. In the picture of underwear, I found out the Khalida underwear, and as soon as I landed, I checked into the Khalida website, and what I found my boyfriend wearing underwear for a brand. So I realized Samuel Bourg is completely another person, is a scammer, and this man, this beautiful man, is somebody else. I start to call Khalida. I informed the model to cancel the Facebook account. As soon as I came back to Switzerland, my priority was to put myself in security because I really felt something was in danger, because of course they sent me all the documents and all the datas, and they were false documents, but what I sent, my documents, my identity card, my passport, were a real one. First of all, I went to the police with a police report, but even the police say, Miss Babini, we cannot do anything in particular, we just record the fact and that's it. I never expect they come into my house, but it could be a danger.
There's also risk of identity theft. So people, the scammers try to make more of it than only getting your money, but they also using your identity to get more out of it.
I played the game for 1 month. I played as nothing was happened. Of course, I was behaving sad. Of course, I was sad actually, but I was behaving sad. I was behaving like I was ill, and that I lost everything, and that I was nearly to bankrupt and all these things, because I wanted to live it in a good way. But before stopping this relationship, I recorded this voice as a reminder of the whole situation.
Moi, je dis tout ce qui arrive n'est pas hasard, voilà. Peut-être te dire que j'ai profité de toi et tout, mais sache qu'en aucun cas je pourrais profiter de toi, parce que si je voulais profiter et tout, là tu me dis tu n'as plus rien, j'aurais pu te parler, mais c'est parce que je t'aime et que je crois à notre ami que je suis là avec toi. Tu comprends?
Je comprends. Till the end, they always try to enter in touch, they always try to enter in your mind, and the story is not finished if you don't block yourself. After 1.5 months, I got contacted again by another scammer, Robert Carlyle, that was exactly behave as Samuel did. Charming and everything, but they did, of course, a mistake. They didn't use a nice picture first, and now I know the game. The Samuel Bourg account is still active, and they might play the same bad game with another woman right now.
I'm one of the first Italian victims of emotional and sentimental fraud. I decided to find an association called ACTA, which informs, protects and safeguards the people who fall into this trap all over the world. Now we are present in many Italian regions, and we can say that all the victims who fall into this ignoble scam are women who are between 40 and 80 years. Victims are often people that have a working life, or women that don't go out as we used to do in the past. So they stay at home and explore what the online world has to offer.
The way the society is constructed, you work 8 hours per day, very, very fully, if not 9 or 12. And when you arrive home, you just want to sit on the sofa, take your phone and start to chat. Before, when you meet somebody new, you introduce yourself, you in a way step back a little bit, you take your time to get in touch, you take your time to get intimate and so on. There's a time. With the internet, this is very, very, very direct. Hello, how are you? Okay, let's chat. Okay, how many children you have?
It can happen to intelligent, attractive and rooted people, simply because the desire of being loved and of getting attention is huge. It's been 5 years and we could verify that women, 7,000 cases, are women of all social status, not only wealthy women but also poorer women who are even more exposed and who get into debt by going to moneylenders and who will have debts for life. 89 million euros overall. The victims spend an average of 50,000 euros. The payments are made in several transactions over several months and sometimes years. The victims send money through money transfer, Western Union, but also through bank transfers in every part of the world and also in Europe, therefore possibly also traceable. And despite all this, these scams continue to invade Italy and all other countries.
Very important to create way more awareness than now that romance fraud is not a small issue, it is a big issue. If you go on dating sites with all the best means and with all the best hope in the world, don't forget that 2 of 3 scams come only from dating sites. So there is a whole world of people outside willing to make money based on trust and hope of other people.
As they are existing, we cannot block like this. Police is surely engaged, the government is doing maybe something, and the thing is, we have to pay attention with our action to block them. Because if you think there are so much scammer as a big offer on the market, because there are many people that jump in the trap. So actually, if we reduce the people that jump in the trap, we can also reduce the scammer work. I don't regret for what happened, because every time in life, when you cross a bad experience, you have to turn on the right way.
And what are you going to do now?
I'm gonna make a movie about it.